Welcome to the channel where the world gets a little less boring, one country at a time. Today, we're heading to a place so massive, so mysterious, and so misunderstood most people forget it even exists outside of maps and climate change debates. That's right, we're going to Greenland. You think you know Greenland? Think again. This isn't just some frozen wasteland. It's a land of melting glaciers, midnight suns, hidden hot springs, and political tug-of-wars. Buckle up for 20 wild, weird, and wonderful facts you probably never knew about the world's largest island. Greenland spans over 2.1 million square kilometers, making it the largest island on Earth that is not a continent. That's nearly 3 times the size of Texas. Yet despite this massive size, Greenland is home to only around 56,000 people, most of whom live along the southwestern coast. This makes it one of the least densely populated regions on the planet. Why? Because about 80% of the island is buried under a massive ice sheet. Only a thin coastal strip is habitable, offering limited space for communities. This extreme geography dramatically shapes daily life, infrastructure, and culture. You might be thinking, why is it called Greenland if it's mostly ice? Good question. Only around 15% of Greenland is ice-free. Its vegetation is sparse, mostly moss, lichen, and tundra shrubs. The name Greenland is believed to have been a clever marketing ploy by the Viking Eric the Red. After being exiled from Iceland, he gave the island a more appealing name to lure settlers. It was essentially Viking-era clickbait. The name has stuck, even though Greenland is among the iciest places on Earth. From late May to late July, parts of Greenland, especially towns above the Arctic Circle like Qaanaaq, experience the midnight sun. The sun literally doesn't set for weeks. Imagine sitting outside at 2 a.m. and it still feels like daytime. This can wreak havoc on sleep cycles, but also allows for non-stop activities. Locals and tourists enjoy late-night fishing, hiking, and even barbecuing. On the flip side, Greenland's winter can bring weeks of darkness. It's a land of extremes. Greenland's ice sheet is a colossal blanket of frozen water, second only to Antarctica. It contains about 7% of the Earth's fresh water. In some places, the ice is nearly 3 kilometers or 2 miles thick. Scientists have drilled into the ice to study Earth's past, unlocking climate data from hundreds of thousands of years ago. And here's the real kicker: if this entire ice sheet were to melt, global sea levels would rise by over 7 meters or 23 feet. That would submerge major coastal cities around the world. Greenland's glaciers birth some of the world's largest icebergs. These floating giants can be taller than skyscrapers and stretch longer than football fields. The infamous iceberg that sank the Titanic likely came from Greenland. Iceberg calving is so powerful, it sounds like thunder when it happens. In Ilulissat Ice Fjord, it's a daily spectacle and one of the most visually stunning reminders of our changing planet. Unlike most countries, you can't just drive from town to town in Greenland. The rugged terrain, vast distances, and icy conditions make roads nearly impossible. Instead, people travel by boat, small plane, helicopter, or snowmobile. Most communities are isolated along the coast and completely reliant on seasonal travel conditions. This deeply affects everything from food prices and emergency services to how families stay connected. Despite its colossal size and increasing global attention, Greenland doesn't have a military of its own. Instead, Denmark takes care of its defense. This setup has allowed Greenland to invest in education and healthcare. But as climate change and geopolitics heat up the Arctic, questions around autonomy and security have become a hot topic. Could this icy giant be a silent player in the global power game? You bet. Imagine a country the size of Mexico, with a population smaller than a small American town. That's Greenland for you. With just 56,000 residents, you're more likely to see reindeer than rush hour. Most people live in coastal towns, and some areas are so remote that your only neighbors might be polar bears. Literally. Greenland is the name we use, but locals know it as Kalaallit Nunaat, which means land of the Kalaallit. The name honors the indigenous people of Greenland's west coast. Here, the native language Kalaallisut is not just a relic, it's alive and thriving. Bilingual signs, TV programs, and schools keep it front and center, showcasing a culture that has thrived in the Arctic for thousands of years. Greenland's traditional cuisine is evolving, and in recent years, it's gained international attention for its focus on locally foraged and sustainably sourced Arctic ingredients. With limited agricultural land, Greenlandic chefs are embracing what nature offers: reindeer, musk ox, Arctic char, seaweed, angelica, and even berries that grow wild during the brief summer months. In Nuuk and other towns, modern restaurants are creating innovative dishes that combine Inuit heritage with Nordic techniques, resulting in a truly unique Arctic fine dining experience. This hyper-local culinary approach isn't just about taste. It's also a reflection of Greenland's deep respect for nature and tradition in a rapidly changing world. Most people think Greenland is just cold and icy, but guess what? It's geologically alive. Deep below the glaciers, geothermal heat stirs, sometimes even causing small earthquakes. Hot springs like the ones at Unartok are warm enough to soak in, even in winter. That's right, in Greenland, you can lounge in a hot spring with icebergs floating in the distance. Now that's a surreal spa day. When people think of coral reefs, they imagine warm tropical oceans, but Greenland flips that expectation. Deep beneath the frigid waters off Greenland's coast, scientists have discovered cold water coral reefs that have existed for thousands of years. These reefs, unlike their colorful tropical cousins, thrive in total darkness and cold temperatures. They serve as essential habitats for Arctic marine life, supporting fish, shrimp, and other deep-sea creatures. The discovery of these reefs in such an unlikely place has fascinated marine biologists and emphasized the importance of protecting lesser-known underwater ecosystems that are just as vital and just as vulnerable as coral reefs in the tropics. In rural Greenland, sled dogs outnumber kids. These hardy dogs aren't pets. They're working animals, essential for travel and hunting in the Arctic. Raised in the wild, trained for survival, and deeply respected, Greenlandic sled dogs are an iconic symbol of Arctic life. Their endurance and loyalty are legendary. In some areas, using a snowmobile instead of a sled dog team is even frowned upon. It's tradition, after all. Dog sledding isn't just a mode of transport. It's a celebrated sport and cultural tradition. Each winter, Greenland hosts thrilling dog sled races, where mushers and their teams of huskies compete over long distances across snowy terrain. This sport connects the people to their Arctic heritage and is a symbol of endurance, teamwork, and respect for nature. Greenland has some of the oldest rocks on Earth, over 3.8 billion years old. It's like the planet's diary, written in stone. Scientists flock here to study the geological history of Earth, from early continental formations to clues about prehistoric life. If you're into plate tectonics, glaciology, or meteorite impact craters, Greenland is basically one gigantic open-air science lab. If you've ever dreamed of seeing the magical aurora borealis, Greenland is one of the top spots on Earth. Thanks to its location inside the Arctic Circle and low light pollution, the northern lights here often light up the sky with stunning greens, purples, and reds. Winter nights are long and cold, but nothing beats cozying up under the shimmering cosmic light show. Covering almost 972,000 square kilometers, that's bigger than France. The Northeast Greenland National Park is the largest national park on the planet. It's an untouched wilderness of glaciers, mountains, polar bears, musk oxen, and Arctic foxes. Few people ever visit due to its extreme remoteness and harsh climate, but it's a critical habitat for Arctic wildlife and a jewel for conservation. Fishing and shrimping have long been Greenland's economic backbone, but the country is diversifying. Mining for rare minerals, oil exploration, and tourism are becoming more important. With climate change opening new waterways, Greenland hopes to tap into global markets, balancing economic growth with protecting its fragile environment. Scientists worldwide keep a close eye on Greenland because its massive ice sheet is melting faster than ever, contributing significantly to sea level rise. Research stations on the ice monitor temperature, snowfall, and glacial movement daily. What happens in Greenland doesn't stay in Greenland. It's a crucial indicator for the health of our entire planet, making this icy land a front line in the fight against climate change. There you have it, 20 wild, fascinating, and little-known facts about Greenland. From steaming hot springs and melting glaciers to ancient fossils and political independence, Greenland is anything but boring. So if you're looking for the next adventure, mental or physical, this icy giant just might be calling your name. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss the next destination. See you next time.